Day 209. So today I biked to work. And by bike to work, I mean I got all the way to the office and had another blowout. And by the way to the office, I mean right below the final climb into the office, which is this just kind of long, steep uphill climb. I had a blowout literally on 30, 40 feet right before the turn. I was like, what is causing this? I knew it couldn't have been the tubes at that point, right? Because this was my third blowout in as many days. So I decided, I was going to walk up the hill, which sucked. Even though the bike has a crawler gear, which is essentially like if you're walking the bike without having to mess with, the energy going into the battery or going into the wheel, you simply turn this crawler gear on and it puts a little bit of energy, just enough to kind of push the bike along up the hill. You still have to hold on to it and keep it upright. And sometimes you actually have to hold it back because it's a little too powerful. But it definitely helps so that you're just walking up the hill, not, having to walk the bike up the hill, because that would suck. So I was able to do that, got it to the office, and instead of going to lunch, which my office had free food, which I had to stay away from, I decided to swap the front and back tire so that I could see what problem the bike had, because it was something with the back tire. I mean, that was the third blowout in 2 days or 2 rides. And there had to be something wrong with the back tire, but I was just not seeing it because I would put the tire on and it'd be perfectly fine. So I did that. I switched my front and my back tire, like the full tire. The tube, I've got a no flat strip, and the tread. So I did that in office. Just closed my office door. And then I got riding to come home. And it wasn't 3 or 4 minutes before I figured out what the problem was. Turns out there was a kind of rip or tear in the siding of the tread of the back tire. And I could kind of see it when I was messing with it, but it didn't look like it was a problem, because when I pumped them up, nothing happened. Well, I pumped them up and then I add the pressure weight of the bike and myself, and that caused the tube to balloon out in that one area. And so I just saw this huge bump on the side of my tire, and I was like, what is this? So it's like, I need to get home. I don't want to call an Uber. I want to be able to bike back. So I did the only logical thing, which is I let out enough air that it no longer ballooned out. And then I tried to kind of tuck the trim back in, or the tread back in, so that it'd be, a solid tire. So I probably deflated it to about 10 or 15 psi, enough to keep the tire physically, on, and yet not enough that it would, balloon out and pop again. And that worked. It got me home. It was a little bit of a struggle. Definitely speed was diminished and effort increased because the tire was pretty much deflated. And so I mean, you don't usually ride on a deflated tire because it'll ruin the tread, but since the tread's already ruined, I was like, I just need to get home. And so, yeah, I was able to get home. I'm not going to order a new tread today or yesterday or today or whenever, because I need to, I want to be here when I get it. So I'll order it before I come back from vacation. But yeah, it's one of those fun times where it takes visual effort to actually see the problem, but I've seen it and I can now fix it.